Hi, welcome to Workplace Training. So I'm going to go through what do you need to submit for this cluster. The units that we're going to be doing: plan, organize, and facilitate learning in the workplace, provide work skill instruction. So they're both TAE-DEL units. That's a level AQF 4, and this is an AQF level 3. So just bear that in mind with the evidence that you'll need to submit. I'm going to go through and talk about this. So basically, for this unit, you need to create 2 training plans, and we're going to do some actual facilitating as well. For this one, and between the two really, I'm going to need you to actually conduct some training, some on-the-job coaching, okay? So let's go through this in detail. So what will I be doing for these units? Great question. You will be creating 2 training plans. What's a training plan? A training plan is training someone in on a job. So it could be, we'll get into it. All right. So each plan that you are going to be doing needs to be for a different person and for a different job context. Okay. So basically, you're giving me evidence that you can do a training plan because you've given it to me twice, and I can see they're different people, different contexts. Okay, cool. Same skills that you're using. The training plans can be based on a new worker, a new and young worker, or an existing worker who needs to be upskilled. Okay, I'll get into that a little bit more, but basically, okay, so we've provided a couple contexts for you to choose from, or you can choose your own. So you are free to pick a scenario from your workplace or previous workplace. So there'll probably be some videos in the online learning that you can use, and there'll be maybe some other suggestions and stuff. What I want you to do is you can think about a new and young worker. For example, maybe a job that you've had in the past where you were a shoe salesman and you got, pretending that you were maybe you were a supervisor, and you need to train in a new shoe salesman that's coming through, right? You're working at Betts or something. What would that training look like? Okay, from beginning to end, so it's the first day to when they don't need you looking over their shoulder anymore, okay? And all you're going to do is basically document it, okay? You might have a new or young worker in your current workplace. You might get new workers all the time. They might not be young, maybe they're just new, and maybe they are experienced, but they're new, and they need to be taught sort of how things are done at the company that you're at, more like an induction. That's perfect. Write up a little plan, okay, for that. And then maybe even conduct a couple of those sessions as well for the one of the 3 sessions that you'll need to do. Okay, it might be an existing worker. So it could be someone that is currently, imagine someone that's currently working at your company, and maybe a new software comes through and everyone needs to be upskilled on it, and you train in. You're going to do a little training plan on how that these existing workers are going to be trained in on the new software, from not having any knowledge to not having, and being able to solve their own problems. Okay. You might also think about your own job. So imagine your workload doubled and you need 2 of you. What would you do to train someone in on what you do? What would that look like if you had to document that down? Okay. So there's some ideas. Best case scenario, pick something realistic at your job, at your workplace, that you can realistically create a training plan for. And in fact, there might be something that your workplace would love to have a proper training plan for. Well, use this course to create it. Okay? All right, so what is that actually going to entail? Well, your job is going to be to identify the characteristics of the person that you're going to be training in. So you're going to need to know a little bit about them, their likes, their dislikes, their learning. Well, how do they like to learn? Do they have any needs that you're unaware of? Okay, you're going to think about the job role and the skills that you're actually going to teach, and you're going to break those down, giving a time frame for it. They might need to practice it, but then they might need to go away and work on it on their own. They might need some feedback time. Maybe you catch up after so long and you have a meeting. How you're going to evaluate, how you're going to get feedback, some strategies there. And then thinking of a sequential order that makes sense. You're also going to think about the safety challenges throughout the process, okay? you'll want to think about the actual real job at hand. The point of doing these units is so that you can literally do this. You can be hired corporately or in an educational environment, and you can write up training plans for on the job. Okay, you can train someone in because you've done it here. You need to consider real ramifications and look at it from a best practice point of view. So when I'm assessing you, or whoever the NCT assessor is, they're going to be looking at what you're creating is realistic, and if it is, even if it is real and you are creating it for the job, that there's enough in there that it could actually be given to your boss, okay, and they would be happy with it. Okay, so we're going to expose you to traineeships and apprenticeships. The reason you're going to be exposed to that through some information is to show you the highest end of technical, professionally agreed, and comprehensively documented training experiences. So it may not be applicable to your situation, or maybe you might have trainees coming through. Fantastic. Then you'll know exactly what we're talking about. It's pretty detailed in everything that needs to get documented and submitted and monitored and all that sort of thing. So we're going to expose you to that. The other thing that you need to do on top of these two plans, okay, which is it's just a breakdown of a job, okay, in a document. The other thing is you're going to need to literally do some actual training. So you're going to do 3 of these, okay? They need to be 3 separate sessions. They need to be 3 separate objectives, and they can't be the same person each time. So at least 2 different people, okay? You will conduct one-on-one training for specific workplace tasks. You're going to use coaching techniques. That's going to be emphasized. So at no point in time does it look like sit here, listen to me as I show you PowerPoint slides. This is all about, and really learning is anyway, but this is all about getting them to do something and giving them feedback on what they're doing. Get them to do something, give them feedback on what they're doing. Get your worker to do something, give them feedback on it. And that's what we're going to want to see in these training sessions, is that feedback, that doing, that practicing, that demonstrating, that encouraging, that changing the way that you maybe are teaching something because they're not getting it or whatever. Okay, so we want to see those skills. Now, these 3 sessions, where are they coming from? Well, they can come from the training plans that you created. On the other hand, you may have a training that you can conduct that's unrelated to the training plans. That's okay too. You've already put a lot of thought into your training plans, so it might be really simple and easy for you to just go ahead and pick 3 things from between the 2. Or you might have something just on the job that's just, a bit random, and a coworker needs you to train them in on something. Great, document it. As long as you are practicing the workplace training skills, it is acceptable. So these sessions will be recorded. Session plan will be created for each one. A safety plan. You're going to get feedback, so you give them your worker a little form at the end. And then at the very, very end, you're going to do a phone debriefing with me. All right, so let's just do a quick overview of what everything is for both these units, all the stuff that you're going to give me. 2 training plans. There are templates we have. I'm happy for you to use your own, as long as it has what I need in it. There is a manual there that, I think page 123, I believe, is when it starts talking about this stuff. But use that for help. There's examples in there. 3 session plans you're going to give me. Again, we've got templates. Happy for you to use your own, as long as it has all the information I need. Risk control plans. Again, there's templates and all that sort of thing. Use the manual to help you. Feedback. Okay, I've got a feedback form you can hand them, or I'm happy for you if you've got some feedback that you have, and we can take a look at using that instead. That's okay, as long as it has what I need. A video of these 3 sessions. I need to know that this actually happened. Okay, the auditor that's going to be looking at my evidence and wants to know, how do we make sure that your learners are actually doing this stuff and you're not just ticking people through? Well, the video, you can't get much better than that. So you're going to do the entire session. You might need to get written permission. If you do, then keep that, give that with me. And the other thing that's not in here is we are going to do this through something called we can do this through something called AnyMeeting, and I'll run you through that a little bit later. I'm going to do an observation checklist. I'm going to fill that in based on the video you give me, and then we're going to do that debrief. So this is seven pieces of evidence. Okay, 7 different types of evidence. Here's some training plan examples. Okay, take a read through those. And and some session plan examples. This is just here to help you get some more context, okay? You need to fill this in. This is your declaration saying that you understand and agree to all these things. So you can choose to be assessed, and you choose to be assessed that you understand the purpose of the assessment tasks are to be ticked off on these units. Information about the appeal system. So there is a student handbook available on our website. The appeal system is if you're not happy with what I have to say or what our decision, you can appeal. My decision, you can appeal to my training manager, and then from there you can appeal to ASQA, our auditing body. I do go through this stuff in an earlier video as well, but just in case you didn't go through it, that you've notified me. If you have any special needs, I need to know about them. That you understand what evidence needs to be collected, which I just went through, and that you're aware that your records and results are kept confidential, so I don't share them with anyone that I'm not meant to. Okay? You declare that the work is your own. You need to sign and date this. Alright, this is the results cover sheet, so this is for me to fill in, and I will obviously give a mark. Alright, so leave that blank. And then here we go, in order, I go through and talk about in detail all these different things, okay? So this is about the 2 training plans, okay? Now, this is the criteria. So if you're using our template, it's all good. If you're using your own template, this is the criteria I'm going to be assessing it against, okay? And then also just how well the templates were filled in, okay? I'll give my mark here, and then if there's any suggestions or comments or whatever, I'll put that in over there for you. Okay, this is just to guide you if you're thinking, where do I start with this whole training plan? Well, you can use the manual. You can also use this. It's just a little something I put together, just a thought process, okay? And then I've just got the columns here. You know, you can tick through if that helps you, if I did that for my first session and my second. Okay, here's a breakdown of what I'm looking for with the session plans. Again, the criteria, in case you have your own templates. Again, here's just some steps, just to help you with the thought process. You don't have to use this stuff. This is just for you, okay, in case this helps you. Again, use the manual and the resources that we've provided. Risk control plan, okay, it's just a template, guys, you know, and basically thinking it through. You might have your own. That's okay. We can use that. This is what I'm going to be looking for, okay? Just use the template and use your manual. It'll explain everything to you there. This is the feedback form. So basically just print this off 3 times and hand that to them. All right? They'll fill it in. Make sure that they fill it all in. I'm not going to accept something that's not filled in completely and doesn't have a rating completely, and they haven't actually given 2 things. So if they give this to you and it's not complete, give it back to them and make sure they complete it, because I need this evidence for your portfolio so that it's complete. This is for me to fill in, so this is what you're getting assessed against on the feedback. Okay. And then here's the video. So this is at Anytime Meeting. So basically, you can use this, all right? And I've got a username and password that we'll have here written there for you. And you will log in and basically just use it, okay? So you log in and then you just go start meeting, and I'll do a little video on how to do that. And that way we're not dealing with USBs, we're not dealing with how do I get this video to you. You just do it on anymeeting.com and then we've got it, okay? Alternatively, if you want to use your iPad, iPhone, or camera, you can see if we can upload it via Dropbox. Okay, or maybe USB it to me or something like that. If you need to get written permission from any of your participants, please do so, and then submit that with your video. Here's the observation checklist that I'm going to be using when I'm assessing you, so you can take a look through that if you want to see what you're going to be assessed against. And then finally, here's the debrief. So it's all the questions that are going to be asked of you, and you can just prepare for that debrief. That's just going to be us, again, on Anytime. So we're not going to go over the phone because Anytime can capture our meeting, and we've got a lot of tools and options that we can use to that. So there is everything for workplace training. So basically 2 training plans, guys, and then 3 sessions that you're going to conduct. So if you've got any questions, shoot me an email. Let me know how you go. Have fun and good luck.